All right, so let's talk about long division, and let's look at this polynomial, and let's practice the long division procedures. So t minus 1, which is a divisor, and we will divide t cubed minus 2t squared minus 3t plus 4. Okay, so the first thing we do is we take the divisor, which is t minus 1. Okay, so what I'm going to do with t minus 1 is that I'm going to look at the first term in my polynomial, which is t cubed. Okay, so when I go and look at t cubed, and if I look at t, what will it take t times what to eliminate the t cubed? So if I think about it, I know I can eliminate it by having t squared. So when that occurs, that lets me know I'm going to multiply everything by t squared. So that would give me t cubed. So when I look at taking t squared, since we figured out what's missing to get t cubed, and distribute that to my divisor t1, that would set me up to what my first to eliminate the t cubed. So t squared times t, that would give me, t cubed. Then of course t squared minus 1, that would give me minus t squared. So that is what I will put in my divisor. So t cubed, I will then realize that's going to be t squared. And then I'm going to have t cubed here minus t squared. So once I figure out my first term here, let's begin the subtraction. So you see how t cubed, just like subtraction. Now, with t cubed being positive, remember it's everything we subtract, so we're going to subtract that. And notice with minus t, the subtraction, you got to think about it, how everything we subtract is going to basically show negative, and a negative, that's going to become a positive. Because think about when you do subtraction for division, we already have, it's understood, you're going to subtract. So because it's already a negative here, when I go to subtract it, it will then become a positive. So we see the t cubed is eliminated. So I have negative t squared, positive t squared. That will leave me with a negative t squared. Bring down the next term, minus 3t. All right, so as we continue the process, again, negative 2t squared, a positive t squared, becomes a negative 1, which we just write it as t squared. And then again, we bring down the negative 3t. So we're going to do this whole process again. What is my divisor? T minus 1. So I'm going to write t minus 1. And let's again identify the next term. The next term I need to look at is a negative t squared. So I'm going to take the first term once again out of t minus 1, and I'm going to pull down the t. So once again, t times what is missing to give me that negative t squared. So what I need is a negative t. So I realized that what's missing to give me a negative t squared is missing the t, and then on top of that, to make it a negative, I know it's the negative t. So that lets me know, put it all together, what I'm going to multiply? A negative t times t minus 1. Once again, do the same practice. Negative t times t. There I go with that negative t squared. That's what I needed. Negative t. And notice here, let me break it down. We got a negative t times a negative 1. Notice these two negatives will become a positive, and then t times 1 will give me a positive t. So, and then here's another thing. Remember, we're talking about subtraction. So when I pull this in, don't forget, we already got, I'm just going to show the breakdown. We already got a negative t squared, and we already got a positive t. But yet, because we are subtracting, we got to distribute that negative to a negative t squared. That's going to make it become a positive t squared. We got it because of subtraction. Again, we're subtracting everything because we're dividing. That negative times that positive t will allow me to have a negative t. So we already know with this positive t, negative t squared, that's how that cancels out. Negative 3, imaginary number, negative 1, that gives me a negative 4t. Pull down and bring down plus 1. I'm sorry, plus 4. All right, so once we realize, what do we use to basically eliminate that t square? We use negative t. So there I will put negative t as far as part of my quotient as we continue to solve this polynomial. All right, so my next step, once again, we're doing the same process. So we were using t minus 1. And once again, we're testing it with the first term, which is a negative 4t. So I take the first term out of t minus 1, and we realize once again that is t. T times what? I'm putting my question mark so I can figure out what that is. Do I need to get a negative 4t? So what's missing for me to get a negative 4t is just a negative 4. So negative 4 is what I will use to multiply t minus 1. And so that is what I will put in my quotient. We got a negative 4. So what will happen is, let's distribute to complete the problem. So negative 4 times t, that will become a negative 4t. Negative 4 times negative 1, once again, because again, if you got a calculator, put it in that calculator and let's keep it moving. It will definitely give you the correct answer by you putting negative, negative, and you won't even have to worry about the rules. But however, negative and a negative make a positive. So that's how we get a positive 4. But once again, because we're getting ready to subtract, I'm just going to do a sidebar again and put in negative 4t plus 4. Okay, and let's distribute that negative and let's see what happens. Negative times negative 4t, two negatives there. I got negative times negative 4t. We know two negatives make a positive. So that would give me a positive 4t, okay? So what's my next move? Negative times 4, that's going to give me a negative 4. And once I see here, the negative 4t, positive 4t cancel out, positive 4, negative 4 cancel out, 0 remainder. So now I have my final answer, t squared minus t minus 4, final answer. Okay, now here, x cubed plus 27 over x plus 3. Now let's also put this in long division layout. And here is a special rule that you have to do, okay? Because when you look at the first degree that it starts off with x cubed, all right? From that point, you cannot skip and go directly to a constant. You have to go in descending order, all right? So given x cubed, what would be the next lower degree? X squared. What will follow that? Just x to the 1 or x. And then we will have 27. So normally what we will put in between that, put a 0 because there's no number. Put a 0 and there's no number. So we got 0x squared plus 0x. So, and that way you're not eliminating the descending degree order, you're giving it that respect. Because everything in algebra, it has to go in degree order, and you just have to recognize each degree. So that is the process with when you're missing degrees. You fill it in by putting 0 on whatever that degree is, all right? But however, we're going to go through the same process. I identify my divisor, which is x plus 3. Let's pull down the first term in that polynomial. What is that first term? X cubed. So I take x cubed and I take the first term of the divisor. X times what is missing to give me x cubed? What's missing? X times what? It will become x squared. So that lets me know I would take x squared times that by x plus 3. And that's what will go in my quotient, x squared. All right, so now let's distribute and let's see what we will break down. X squared times x, that'll give me x cubed. X squared times 3 will give me a positive 3x squared. So the next piece to that, remember, we are dealing with subtraction. Like we always do when we do long division, just like grade school, we just identify that. So that lets me know that the negative to x cubed will give me a negative x cubed. Negative to 3x squared will give me a negative 3x squared. So here I show a positive 6x squared. I'm sorry, let me back up. You see how the x cubed cancels out. I want to recognize that. Positive 6x squared minus 3x squared will give me 3x squared. Next, I will then bring down my next term. And that should be, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. 0 and a 3x squared, negative 3x squared will give me negative 3x squared. I thought that was a 6. I can't read my writing. That's supposed to be a 0. Oh. So that should be a 0 there. Okay, so that's how we get the negative 3x squared. And so now with 0x, we realize that when we bring that down, plus 0x. All right, so let's continue the process. So next term we have, again, with the divisor, x plus 3. And this time, we're looking at negative 3x squared. So when I look at x, what is missing for the negative 3x squared? So what I'm missing, I don't have the negative 3. I have one x, but I don't have another x for x squared. So what I got missing is a negative 3x. So with a negative 3x, I then realize I will multiply that by the divisor of x plus 3. So that is what will go in my quotient, negative 3x. Okay. So I now distribute negative 3x to x. That gives me a negative 3x squared. I now distribute negative 3x to 3. Negative 3 times 3 will give me a negative 9x. And once again, I'm subtracting. So with a negative 3x squared, minus 9x, we got to remember that because we're subtracting, that we have to pay attention to that. That's a negative. So when I'm subtracting a negative minus the 3x squared, the two negatives will become a positive 3x squared. When I take the negative times the negative 9x, two negatives make a positive. So that'll be a positive 9x. So what we see here, negative 3x squared, positive 3x squared, there's a cancel out. 0 plus 9 will give me 9x. And bring down my next term. I can control my marker. Will be a positive 27. All right, so once we do x plus 3, and we identify that what we're trying to figure out is the next term for that, which is 9x. So we'll match up x times what is missing from that 9x, and we see that a 9 is missing from that 9x. So that is what is in my quotient, 9. So what will I do with this 9? I'm going to distribute to x plus 3. So 9 times x plus 3, and let's get our final binomials to finish up the problem. 9 times x will give me the 9x. 9 times 3 will give me that 27. And we already see that they're both positive. So when subtraction come in right here, what do we notice when we do the subtraction? That we would get minus 9x. I keep carrying that marker down too far. 9x. And once again, the negative come through for minus 27. And that will identify that we have a 0 remainder. So the final answer there would be x squared minus 3x plus 9. Hope that was helpful. Thank you very much. Bye.